How many times does something have to prove that it doesn't want to be in your life before you let it go? How many times do you need to feel disappointment after heartbreak after heartbreak before you let it go? Now, this thing might not legitimately say to you, this person might not say to you word for word, I don't want to be with you anymore, but it's time to stop looking at the words that come out of somebody's mouth and start paying attention to the actions that they show you, that they take, especially when things are tough, especially when you're in your most vulnerable state. It gets to the point when us forgiving people or us giving people chance after chance after chance because we desire to help them become better or we see potential in them, it comes to a point where you are not only hurting yourself, which is an obvious, right? Because you're choosing to stay in a situation that a cycle that continuously breaks you to pieces and doesn't allow you to be the greatest version of yourself. But think about it this way too. You're hurting the person that you're not letting walk away. Why? Because maybe they need to feel your absence. Maybe they need to feel what it feels like to not have someone like you that is there, that cares, that is trying everything they can to be everything you need. Maybe they need to experience that in order to have their own growth. So something we need to trust is when somebody asks to not be in your life, when somebody continuously goes and does things that are clearly against your feelings and your dignity, and it disregards you. Believe them. Believe them. Have the strength to let go. Have the strength to release them. Because when you start going in this self-love journey, you start to realize that part of divine femininity is being able to draw boundaries. This is something that men are a little bit more naturally good at. Drawing boundaries. And it's interesting, I had a friend that was talking to me about how religious texts and within religion, a lot of the time, those texts are there more to teach someone how to embody divine masculinity. And that's why a lot of the time you see in the Bible and things like that, reinforcements of what are actually quite feminine traits, which are actually things that women don't necessarily struggle with the same way that men do. Things like loving thy neighbor and empathy and these types of things that come a little bit more natural to women due to their nurturing biology, right? But what makes divine femininity? The masculine aspect of being able to pick yourself and draw boundaries. I'm not saying be selfish, but I'm pretty sure that if this is something that you deal with, then that's not a problem that you have. I'm pretty sure that what you deal with is not picking yourself enough. It is great to want to help somebody, but you can only help somebody as much as they want to be helped. You can't change somebody. Yes, your place in their life, it can change things. Like, trust me, with my past boyfriend, we helped each other grow into a newer version of ourselves, and not even like a newer version of self, but kind of grow closer to the people that we were at our core. But so much of that for me on my side was having to learn how to pick me, because I constantly had to be the one nurturing myself. I didn't have a partner that wanted to do that for me for so long, that didn't want to be there. And I started to realize that it's like I was codependent, and I did rely on others to help me feel better about myself, to help me on those days where it's easier said than done, where faith is something that is so tough to hold on to. But I've started to realize now, as I had nobody there, as I begged for somebody to be there for me and help me through some of the hardest things that I've had to go through in this life, or to be there for me through the pain that they created for me, that I don't need them, that I don't need somebody else to make me feel better. I'm supposed to do that for myself, and not just me, but God. God is there with an infinite amount of energy that is there to help soothe and comfort and guide you. You don't need to find it externally. If there's somebody in your life or something in your life that is clearly begging to leave with every action that they choose to make, and maybe it's not every action, maybe even it's a majority of the time they don't make choices like this, but lately, or not lately, but there's this cycle where things like, it does always rear its ugly head, right? Maybe it's time to choose you. Maybe it's time to be able to draw boundaries so that resentment isn't created in the future. That is part of being the divine feminine, is taking those aspects that the masculine is actually more naturally inclined and better at, and bringing it into our own selves, to teach ourselves that we can't pour from an empty cup. If you want to help others, if you want to be everything that you know you can be for the world, then you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to pick yourself. You have to choose yourself first. You have to learn to draw boundaries. And you have to remember that it gets to a certain point where it's the shame on, the fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. That is some real stuff right there, guys. It gets to the point where we have to take responsibility for our own happiness, for our own divinity, for our own potential, for our own lives. And we can't let something that is dimming our life and light over and over and over remain within our life just because we're trying to help them become better people. It does not make you selfish to let go of something that is not meant for you, that does not help you become the best version of yourself. Because guess what? When you're the best version of yourself, you can help so many people. When you learn these lessons and when you go through these tough parts of life, and you choose you, your cup runneth over. That is how to make your cup runneth over. It's not pouring into every cup that you see and leaving yourself empty. It's waiting until you're so full that you can give to others from nothing. Because when we work on ourselves, you can have nothing in your bank account. You can have literally $0 to your name. You can be struggling in the craziest way, have nothing, feel like nothing physically to give, but still be able to pour out of your heart and soul. And that even means more than any object could. So if there is something dimming your light, if there is something in your life that continuously does not choose you, then maybe it's time for you to choose you. Maybe it's time for you to let go of what's not allowing you to step into the version of you that God wants you to be, that God needs you to be. And I need to take my own lessons. So if you guys are going through anything similar, I am so sorry, because this is heartbreaking. It is devastating to deal with this, to have this future and this idea and this potential in your mind. But just remember that nobody can help themselves, or you can help nobody unless they desire to help themselves. The only person that you can control and help is yourself. And remember that your light is needed here. So if something is dimming it, it's time to let it go. Not just for you, but for the entire world. Because when you act in your own alignment, you bring more alignment to the planet. Today is a tough day, and I've honestly struggled to make a video, even though I'm so grateful for all of my new followers and all the people that have come to this page. I am so grateful for all of you. Seriously, thank you so much for being here. I really like it. I can't even put into words how grateful I am for a community of people that truly see me and that I see just the same. Your presence alone brings hope to my heart. Your presence alone makes me feel like this life can get better and that it's right to have this faith that I have. We're all going through stuff, okay? That's human. That's part of being human. But I'm just so grateful that we can have one another to remind each other that it gets better, okay? It does get better, and it will get better. Every card I've pulled has talked to me about how maybe it feels dark now, but the light will soon come. Every night turns into day. Every winter to spring. And the same thing will happen in your life. Just have faith. Just have faith. Keep your head up and remind yourself that the light must come. It always must come. It always does. This is a planet of polarity. We can't exist. One can't exist without the other, and light will come. Thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.